Welcome to Romeo Maths and Science class. Today we want to look at properties of some triangles in mathematics. First of all, let us look at an isosceles triangle. If you have an isosceles triangle, all right, as you can see it on the board. And one thing that you need to know about an isosceles triangle is that two of each side are equal, all right? So we can say that this length and this length are equal. Now, let's say that we have an angle here A, an angle here B, and an angle here C. One thing that we need to know about an isosceles triangle is that these base angles, all right, this line which is not having any mark, that is the baseline. So these angles here, we call them what? Base angles. So we say that base angles of an isosceles triangle are equal, which means if here is 40 degrees, here too will be what? 40 degrees. Now, one property that we must learn about generally in triangle, all right, is that anytime we sum all the interior angles, it must be equal to 180 degrees. So we can have this property too. Now, let me extend this line. Let me also extend this line. And let me extend this line here. All right. Now, let me put E here. Let me put F here. And let me put D here. All right. These angles you see here, we call them exterior angle of a triangle. Now, one property that we must know is that these two angles, which is A and B, all right, when we sum them, it must be equal to the exterior angle, which is E. Again, if we look at that is B and C, we say that B plus C should also be equal to what? The exterior angle here, which is D, all right, as we can see it. And we can also say that A and C, that is A plus C, when we sum it, it must be equal to F. And that is the sum of two co-interior angles of a triangle must be equal to the exterior angle. So we can have these properties here. Now, we can also say that C and E are on a straight line. So C plus E should be equal to 180 degrees. And that is angles on a straight line. B plus F should be equal to 180 degrees. And A plus D should also be equal to 180 degrees, which means these angles are angles on a straight line. Now, let us look at a triangle here, all right? Let's say I have this triangle, as we can see, and this line are parallel. Let's say this triangle is an isosceles triangle, and I put A here, B here, C here, D, and E. Now, what can we also say about this triangle? First of all, since this line and this line are parallel, it means that A and B are equal. So we can say A should be equal to B. And also, D should be equal to E. All right? D should be equal to E. And we call it corresponding angles. They correspond. Corresponding angles are equal. All right? Now, if we consider this triangle, this smaller triangle on top, all right? If this smaller triangle on top is an isosceles triangle, as we can see here, then again, we can say that B should be equal to what? D. These two angles should be equal because that form a base angle, all right? Then we can also C plus B plus D should be equal to 180 degrees, which means when we sum all the angles here, it must be equal to 180 degrees. All right, let's also consider the bigger triangle as we can see it here. We can also say that if the bigger triangle is an isosceles triangle, then it means that A and E should be equal. That's the base angle of an isosceles triangle are what? Are equal. Again, we can say that A plus C plus E should be equal to 180 degrees, which means that when we All the angles within the triangle, we must equate it to what? 180 degrees. All right. Let us look at another diagram here. All right. Let's say this triangle here is an equilateral triangle in which all the sizes are what? Equal. Now, let me say, or let's put A here, let's put B here, let's put C here. What can we say? We can say that A should be equal to B, should be equal to what? C. Because with equilateral triangles, all the angles within the triangle are equal. Again, we can say that A plus B plus C should be equal to 180 degrees. All right? When we sum all the angles within the triangle, we must get what? 180 degrees. Now, these are some few properties of triangles that we can have. Let's see how we can use these properties to answer some few questions. Thank you. The properties that we study, let's see how we can use them to answer these questions. In our next video, we'll be looking at how to solve some of them.